I appreciate that. Well, welcome everyone, and again, thank you for joining us on today's webinar entitled Making Sure Your PM Has the Right Stuff. And actually, the people on the right here in this picture are not our consultants. These are actually, of course, I took the liberty of lifting a picture from the movie The Right Stuff, but it seemed appropriate, even though I'm sure many of our consultants would like to go off into space someday. I don't think that's actually them. So to kick off, just wanted to give you a little idea who I am. That's me up here on the right. I am been involved in the informatics industry for about 20 years or so, or a little bit more, I guess. I don't want to admit too much how long it's been, but I am an expert in a variety of different informatics laboratory systems, including lab information systems, electronic lab notebooks, chromatography data systems, scientific data management systems, and a whole variety, instrument integration, whatever you want to talk about. I've actually seen it and been part of it a long time. I've been working in a variety of industries and serving those industries, including the ones you see listed here. It's not a complete list, of course, but I've been to pretty much every kind of laboratory that you can think of across the world, actually. And so I have actually a very good knowledge of an extensive knowledge of the different laboratory processes, what the procedures are, what the challenges are in QA, QC, R&D, genomics, as you go through the whole different types of laboratories. I also have a very good command of the project management area, hopefully, considering I'm talking about the right stuff for the project managers, as well as IT background. I do have a PhD in chemistry, but I probably could have been something in the IT world as well, since I tend to have been oriented that way all this time. So I do understand the science going on as well inside of the laboratories, as well as some of our all of our consultants do as well, because they have laboratory experience. So this is a little bit of idea who I am, so you know where I'm coming from. So if you have questions in any of these areas as we go along, please send them to Megan or hold them to the end. So to dive into our presentation today, our webinar today, just wanted to take a look at the agenda real quickly to make sure we're all on the same page. So we'll be talking today about the characteristics of an informatics project manager. I sort of coined this phrase of an IPM to declinate between an informatics project manager and what the characteristics and needs are for that role, as opposed to a standard project manager, which is just a regular PM. How to avoid informatics project failure with an IPM at your disposal, comparing that value of what a regular standard project manager and an IPM would actually bring to you. We're going to talk a little bit about how success is defined in projects, IT projects, and then actually how CSols actually define success, which is a little bit differently. And that actually, I guess I'm giving away the boat here, but adoption is really what we think of as the key to the informatics project success. We'll talk about that, how the actual utilization of the system is very key, and that really is how you measure success overall. The metrics of how to measure the successful implementation, and we'll take a look at a case study, just a little bit how an IPM came to the fore to be able to help make sure that the project actually went the way it was supposed to. And then we'll have the end of question and answers. So although I know you can't respond, I hope that's all understandable to you, and we're going to go from there. So what do the world say about what an actual project manager really needs to be able to be successful in their role? Standard project managers for IT projects really need to have both project management skills, and whether that's being PMP certified from the PMI Institute or not, as well as IT domain understanding and expertise. And that's what they really need to be successful. This is all gathered from a variety of different sources you can see down here at the bottom. But what we would say is that the ideal informatics project manager requires additional expertise, because there's more to it than just doing an IT project when you get into the laboratory informatics world. So we'll explore that in a second here. So every project manager, whether they're an IPM or a PM, would have to have certain product knowledge areas, and these are project scope and project time, competencies in these areas, cost, quality, human resources. I always wondered what that was until I started looking more into it. That's really the people aspect, how to manage people, how to work with people successfully, how to mitigate risks, how to work with procurement, how to involve all the stakeholders, integration, and the like. There's 5 process groups that usually a project manager has to have expertise in as well, and those are initiating and planning, executing, monitoring, control, and closing. So these 2 areas are basically, from a project manager, any project manager on an IT project should have the knowledge in these type of areas, right? Now, when you get into an actual informatics project manager, there's some additional capabilities, and this one is actually mislabeled. This is also from a domain expertise of what a project manager or an IPM would want to have, is the IT expertise as we talked about before. And that's really being able to understand the IT infrastructure, the hardware, the software, the databases, all those type of things to be effective. They have to understand the actual world that they're living in when they're going to do a IT type of project. This is also true for the IPM, and we'll go through them as we discussed.